Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chansa. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 11th of November. Indian Prime Minister Modi's ruling alliance wins key Bihar state election. PPP leader Bilawal Bhutto claims to provide constitutional rights to people of Gilgit-Baltistan. And mesmerizing autumn season on peak in India's Kashmir Valley. And now for all the details. India's Health Ministry said on Wednesday that India has scaled an unprecedented peak with active coronavirus cases dropping below the 500,000 mark for the first time after 106 days. Meanwhile, as the world cheers the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine showing positive results, experts have said there is not much hope in it for India as it's need to be kept at minus 70 degrees Celsius and such logistics could be difficult to arrange.
As India's coronavirus cases tally surged past 8.6 million on Wednesday, the country's health ministry said that India has scaled an unprecedented peak with active coronavirus cases dropping below the 500,000 mark for the first time after 106 days. The ministry said it assumes significance in the context of many countries reporting a surge in their active case load. Meanwhile, as the world cheers the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine showing positive results, experts in the country have said there is not much hope in it for India. Director of India's premier health institute, AIIMS, Dr. Randeep Guleria on Wednesday said it is an encouraging news, but the vaccine needs to be kept at minus 70 degrees Celsius and such logistics could be difficult to arrange in India.
It has to be kept at minus 70 degrees centigrade. Now that for low and middle income countries and a large part of the world is going to be a big challenge to maintain the cold chain, because having a vaccine to be kept at such a low temperature, especially when we're going to smaller towns or rural India, is going to be a challenge.
Guleria also said that super spreading events with attendees not adhering to COVID-19 protocols must be stopped to curb spike in COVID-19 cases in the Indian capital New Delhi, which has been facing a third wave of infections. New Delhi has been grappling to control rising virus cases in recent days, with factors like pollution, cold weather, and festivals playing a major role.
After weeks of bitter campaigning, 3 phases of voting, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's ruling BJP-led alliance was announced as winner of the Bihar state election on Wednesday. The first election in the country amidst conditions created by COVID-19 has paved the way for the return of Chief Minister Nitish Kumar for the 4th successive term in office. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's coalition retained power in Bihar state. Results showed on Wednesday in what was a referendum on Modi's handling of COVID-19 and which may boost his chances in 3 more state elections next year. Modi's ruling BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party supporters and workers continued their celebrations at the party office in capital Patna on Wednesday. BJP, led by National Democratic Alliance including Janata Dal United and Lok Janshakti Party, won 125 seats out of 243 seats, while Mahagathbandhan, the Grand Alliance constituting of Rashtriya Janata Dal led by Tejasvi Yadav, Indian National Congress and others were on 110 seats. Chirag Paswan's Lok Janshakti Party, which was the source of much frustration for Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, won just 1 seat. The first election in the country amidst conditions created by COVID-19 has paved the way for the return of Nitish Kumar for the 4th successive term in office.
जनता को मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि चौथी बार उन्होंने एनडीए के अंदर अपना विश्वास प्रकट किया है और कोई सामान्य घटना नहीं है। हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति में बहुत कम मुख्यमंत्री होंगे जिनको चौथी बार लोगों ने और जिन पर भरोसा जताया है।
Prime Minister Modi took to Twitter and thanked the people of Bihar for backing the NDA's development agenda. After Bihar, the BJP is expected to do well in state elections in Assam and West Bengal next year, though it has yet to form a strong base in the southern state of Tamil Nadu that also votes in 2021. With election in the illegally occupied territory of Gilgit-Baltistan just around the corner, Pakistan People's Party chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has claimed he will provide the people in the region their due constitutional rights which they have been deprived of over the years. Zardari said that if elected, his party will not only turn the region into a province, but it will also transform the lives of its people.
Pakistan People's Party or PPE leader Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has claimed that he will provide the people of Gilgit-Baltistan their due constitutional rights which they have been deprived of for years now. While addressing an event, part of his political campaign ahead of the Gilgit-Baltistan Legislative Assembly election on November 15, Zardari said that if elected, the PPE will not only turn Gilgit-Baltistan into a province, but it will also transform the lives of its people.
मैं इनको गवाह बना के कहता हूं कि मैं गिलगित-बल्तिस्तान को आईन दिलवाएंगे, मैं गिलगित-बल्तिस्तान के अवाम को आईनी हकूक दिलवाऊंगा। पाकिस्तान पीपल्स पार्टी यहां नहीं रुकना चाहते हैं। हमें शक है कि कुछ ऐसे लोग, कुछ ये जो जमातें जो आखिरी वक्त में हमारा पेज पे आ चुके हैं, हमें शक है कि ये सोच रहे होंगे कि सूबा तो अगर मिलता है हमें गंदम का सब्सिडी भी वापस ले सकते हैं। कुछ ऐसे आपके मुखालिफ सोच रहे होंगे कि चलिए सूबा तो देंगे मगर टैक्स में इजाफा करेंगे। मैं आपको साफ बता रहा हूं कि हम किसी को इजाजत नहीं देंगे।
The PPE chair also promised of helping hundreds of young degree-holding job aspirants from Gilgit-Baltistan by providing them employment opportunities. The Imran Khan government had earlier announced granting provisional province status to Gilgit-Baltistan, which was not received well by the people of the illegally occupied region, who have protested against Islamabad's decision of integrating the illegally occupied region with the rest of Pakistan. A part of India's erstwhile princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan was annexed by Pakistan illegally more than 7 decades ago.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, while addressing the virtual summit of Shanghai Cooperation Organization on Tuesday, said that violence by Taliban has increased substantially despite commitments. Meanwhile, the Afghan government has also claimed the group has redeployed most of their released prisoners to the battlefields, breaking promises in the peace process.
Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani, while highlighting the progress so far in the Afghan peace process at the virtual summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization or SCO on Tuesday, said that violence has remained high by the Taliban despite their commitments. President Ghani said that faced with multiple forms of turmoil, peace remains the most urgent and important priority for the Afghanistan. He also mentioned last week's Kabul University attack in which over 30 people, mostly students, were killed and called it a symptom of cult of violence. The attack was claimed by the militant group Islamic State, but Afghan government officials have claimed there is evidence of Taliban's involvement.
Unfortunately, not only the promised reduction of violence in comprehensive ceasefire has not been realized, but the violence by the Taliban is increased substantially. The inhuman attack on Kabul University, regardless of who claimed responsibility, is a symptom of the cult of violence.
Meanwhile, the Afghan government on Tuesday also accused Taliban has redeployed most of their released prisoners to the battlefields, breaking promises in the peace process. The Taliban has, however, rejected the claims.
India's Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla concluded his two-day Maldives visit, during which Mali and New Delhi signed 4 agreements, including on Greater Mali Connectivity Project on Tuesday. The Indian High Commission, in a series of tweets, said the two-day visit served to reinforce core values of the Maldives-India partnership. Shringla had called on President Ibrahim Mohamed Soli on Monday and briefed him on the satisfactory status of implementation of decisions taken during his interactions with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in December 2018 and June 2019. President Soli had expressed his deep appreciation for the support received from India in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, in particular the $250 million financial assistance provided in September 2020 as budget support. Shringla also held talks with Maldivian leaders to bolster ties. Nepal will provide free COVID-19 test and treatment as the total number of infections was set to cross the 200,000 mark. This follows a Supreme Court order for free treatment after the government asked citizens who could not afford to pay to do so, limiting free testing and care to only those who couldn't.
The number of coronavirus cases in Nepal looks set to cross the 200,000 mark, as the country also said it will provide free COVID-19 tests and treatment. The country of 30 million people has 199,760 total cases of coronavirus and 1,148 deaths as of Wednesday. It recorded 2,736 new daily cases and 22 deaths, according to the government data. The government's move to provide free COVID-19 tests and treatment follows a Supreme Court order for free treatment last week after the government asked citizens who could afford to pay to do so, limiting free testing and care only to those who couldn't.
We are seeing so many severe cases nowadays. Before that, there was only mild cases or those who came from outside. Now we are having cases in community. And in community there are variety of groups of patients. Like somebody might be suffering from chronic disease, like kidney disease, lungs, liver, and these people are very vulnerable to the corona infection.
Nepal enforced strict lockdown measures after a second positive case in March, and infections were below many of their South Asian neighbors. In June, protesters who were demanding for more tests and better care for the coronavirus clashed with the police, who used water cannons to break up the demonstrations.
सरकारको भूमिका पनि कमजोर नै देखियो यसमा, हैन? जनताहरु पनि अब जति जागरुक हुनुपर्ने त्यति देखिएन। हुन त मोटामोटी अब मास्क लगाएर हिँडेको हैन? त्यस्तो देखिन्छ, तर के छ भने सामाजिक दूरी मेन्टेन भएको छैन। अब हामीले भिडभाड अब असनतिर गयौं भने अझै पनि धेरै नै भिडभाड छ। अब कोरोना भन्दा पहिला जति भिडभाड हुन्थ्यो ठाउँहरुमा अहिले पनि त्यस्तै छ भनेपछि जनतामा पनि जति अब जागरुकता आउनुपर्ने त्यति आएको छैन। साथै बाध्यताले पनि होला।
Nepal, which has poor health infrastructure, said it has testing facilities for 23,000 samples, but an average of fewer than 15,000 tests are conducted daily.
Carpet of famous chinar leaves in India's Jammu and Kashmir are pulling tourists to Srinagar city to enjoy the autumn season despite coronavirus pandemic. Visitors are thronging parks in the valley and can be seen clicking photographs with chinar leaves rustling under their feet. Tourists coming in is good news for the tourism sector, which has suffered in view of coronavirus lockdown since March this year.
Tourists are thronging India's northern Jammu and Kashmir state to enjoy autumn season in the valley, giving a boost to its tourism affected by coronavirus pandemic. Dotted with chinar trees mainly, Kashmir adores a unique look during this season as the leaves turn red before they fall. This season also marks the beginning of winters in Kashmir, and locals collect fallen chinar leaves and burn them during winters.
I came specifically during the autumn season. Why? Because I heard it's really beautiful here, and I could see, like you guys can see, we have this beautiful chinar and the color during the autumn is like wonderful.
Kashmir is considered as one of the best tourism destinations in India, with the hospitality of the valley well known, that adds to the popularity of the tourism sector.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.